And finally, we have this question number 7, which is for applicants in computer science or computer science and philosophy. And this question we have defined Boolean functions which take input as either 0 or 1. Now 3 elementary Boolean functions are defined. One of the function is minimum of inputs x1, x2, xk, and it outputs a value 1 exactly when each of the input is 1. So if we have this minimum 1, 1, 1 and 1, only then it'll output this value 1, and in all other conditions it'll output 0. Then we have the second function max, which is x1, x2 and xk. It can take any number of inputs and it outputs the value 1 exactly when at least one of its input is 1. So if we have this function max, it'll give us this output 0 if all the inputs are 0. If there is at least one input which is 1, then it'll give us the value 1. And finally, we have this third, which is flip function, and this flip x1, it is simply going to change the value of x1. If it is 0, it'll make it 1, and if it is 1, it'll make it 0. Now we are given a function of 3 variables, f, x1, x2, x3. It is defined as minimum of max x1, x2, x3 and flip minimum of x1, x2 and x3. Now the first one is describe in words when the function outputs 1 and when it outputs 0. Now this function, it outputs 1 and we have this function minimum here, and we know that this function minimum, it outputs 1 if and only if all the entries they are 1. So in this case, this max x1, x2, x3, it should be 1, and this flip minimum x1, x2 and x3, it should be 1. Now flip, it simply flips the value. So that means minimum x1, x2, x3, it should be 0, and maximum x1, x2, x3, it should be 1. Now minimum is 0 when at least one xi, it is 0, and this maximum is 1 when at least one xi is 1. So out of x1, x2 and x3, it can have inputs as either 0, 0, 1 or 0, 1 and 1 and their permutations. Now we have to find the second case when this function takes the value 0. So basically it'll output 1 in these cases when at least one of them is 0 and one of them is 1. And in all other cases, this function will output 0. So we need not even work that out. Now the second part is the function majority x1 up to xk takes k inputs and outputs 1 exactly when strictly greater than k by 2 of its inputs are 1. So if more than k by 2 inputs are 1, then it'll output 1, else it'll output 0. Now explain how could you combine elementary Boolean functions to obtain the following functions. Majority of x1, x2. So if we look at the second one, we need to find this function majority x1, x2. Now here we have 2 inputs and k by 2 is 1. So it'll output value 1 if both the inputs are 1, and if both the inputs are 1, then basically this majority function, it is this minimum x1, x2. So this second A, it is simple case. Now this B is majority x1, x2 and x3. Now in this case, value of k is 3. Now this majority function will display 1 when k by 2 which is 1.5. When basically 2 or more inputs, they are 1. So what we'll do is we'll take combination of 2 inputs. So we'll take these 3 functions, minimum of x1, x2, minimum of x2, x3 and minimum of x1, x3. And if any one of them is 1, then we should get this output as 1. So we'll take this function max. So this majority function of x1, x2, x3 will be maximum of minimum of x1, x2, minimum of x2, x3 and minimum of x3, x1. Now it says we'll consider Boolean functions that can be obtained by combining only majority functions. And third one, it says there are exactly 16 distinct Boolean functions of 2 input variables, and some of these can be represented by only majority functions that take 3 inputs. The use of 0, 1 as fixed input to majority is permitted. For example, majority of x1, x2, 1 represents function maximum of x1, x2. So we have to find any 4 other Boolean functions of 2 variables that can be represented by combining 1 or more majority functions of 3 inputs. Now we can define very elementary functions such as the constant function, where value of function is 0. So we can define a function f which is majority of x1, 0, 0. So this function will always take this value 0. And we can define another constant function which is 1. We can take it as majority x1, 1, 1. Its value will always be 1. We can also define this function minimum of x1, x2. Now we know that minimum of x1, x2, it is 1 if both x1 and x2 they are 1. So we can define it by this majority function x1, x2 and 0. So if any one of x1, x2 is 0, then it will be 0. If both of them they are 1, only then it will give us this value 1. Now this fourth question is, give an example of a Boolean function g of 2 input variables that cannot be represented by combining majority functions. And you should write your answer by explicitly specifying G00, G01, G10 and G11 and justify your answer. Now there can be many such functions. One of them is simply XOR function or XOR function. Now this function XOR, if both the inputs are same, it gives us this value 0, and if they are different, it gives the value 1. Now this function, it cannot be represented using a majority function, because if we look at this, then this G01, it is 1, and if we add 1 to it, then this output, it should increase, not decrease, but G11 in this case is 0. Such functions cannot be represented by majority functions. Now in this fifth part, it says we may express Boolean functions by combining any of these elementary Boolean functions or the majority functions. Now it says consider 4 input variables x1, x2, x3 and x4, and let z1 be minimum x1, x2, z2 be minimum x2, x3 and z3 be minimum x3, x4 and z4 be minimum x4, x1. Now it says it is sometimes possible to represent a function as x1, x2, x3 and x4 using a function t, z1, z2, z3 and z4. For example, minimum of x1, x2, x3 and x4 is same as minimum of z1, z2, z3 and z4. As both the functions, they output 1 if and only if all the 4 inputs are 1. Now we have to find whether we can represent the following functions as functions of inputs z1, z2, z3 and z4. Now this first question is, we are given this function which is majority x1, x2, x3 and x4. Now basically majority x1, x2, x3 and x4 will give us this value 1 when k by 2, which is 2. So at least 3 inputs should be 1. So we have 2 cases. Either all 4 are 1 or exactly 3 xi's are 1 and then we have 1 xj which is 0. Now in this first case, all z1, z2, z3 and z4 they'll be 1. And the second case, when we have 3 xi's equals to 1, there we'll have 2 zi's which are 1 and 2 zj's which are 0. Now if we make it a function of z1, z2, z3 and z4, then it has to be greater than 2. And this condition, it won't suffice. So what we'll do is we'll add one more input 1 and then this function majority x1, x2, x3, x4 will be equal to majority z1, z2, z3, z4 and 1. And that's your part A. Now in part B it says we have this function which is parity function x1, x2, x3 and x4, and this it outputs 1 when exactly odd number of inputs are 1. One of the case could be 1 0 0 0 where we have all permutations of these 4 inputs 1 0 0 0, or it could be 1 1 1 and 0. So in this case it'll give us output 1 and in other cases it'll give us output 0. So this case it'll yield output 1 and if we have 0 0 0 0 it'll give us output 0. Now if one of the input is 1 and all other are 0, then each of z1, z2, z3 and z4 will be 0. And if all the inputs are 0, then also each of z1, z2, z3 and z4 it is equal to 0. So it is not possible to distinguish these two cases in terms of z1, z2, z3 and z4, and therefore there cannot be any function in terms of z1, z2, z3, z4 that can be equated to this parity function x1, x2, x3 and x4. So here answer is no.